Hello, Dr. Vicki Peterson here, and we are going to talk about a topic that needs to be talked about a lot more and isn't. And it's not dinner time conversation, but it's a conversation that you should have not only with your doctor, but with your children, with your spouse, and that's poop. So when patients come in and I ask them about their bowel habits, some people are extremely reticent, and I just let them know this is something we need to discuss because it's important and it very much reveals quite a bit about your health. Too often I think doctors say, so, are you regular? And a patient says, yes. What does that mean? I mean, I do that all the time too. I say, so do your bowels move regularly? Do you have any trouble? Now this is a better question. Do you have any trouble with constipation or diarrhea? And the patient says, no, everything's fine. I go, great. So how often do you move your bowels? I hear anywhere from once a month. Now granted, I've only heard that twice in 25 years, but I regularly hear 2 to 3 times a week. And then sometimes I hear 3 to 4 times a day. Neither one of those is normal. 1 to 2 times a day is normal. And so it's missed because you ask somebody if they're constipated and they've always moved their bowels 2 to 3 times a week, they don't think there's anything wrong with that. So you have to be specific. I have to be specific. Doctors have to be specific because they miss a lot. So there's frequency, then there's size. I like to talk about the brown banana. Don't get grossed out about the banana part, but in other words, that kind of diameter, that kind of size, it's like, like about that big, depending on the size of the banana. But yeah, it's what it isn't is golf balls. It isn't peanut butter. I've heard patients say that, or mud consistency. In other words, it comes out of the body as like a brown banana and it stays like that. So if you look in the stool in your toilet bowl, it maintains its shape as the brown banana. And it is brown, like a chocolatey dark brown color. It's not yellowish orange. That's not normal either. It's not tarry black. It's certainly not got blood in it. None of those are normal as well. But as far as the size and the consistency, it's very important. So it should be nice and smooth consistency. It shouldn't be almost in pieces. It should be nice and smooth. So if it's little golf balls or if it's very soft, doesn't have to be liquid. Sometimes it comes out kind of formed but then falls apart in the water. So none of that is normal either. And it can be indicative of a lot of different things, but let's just start with what's normal. So we talked about size, we talked about shape, we talked about frequency, we talked about color. What about odor? Does poop stink? It does, but a bit, but it shouldn't clear out the house either. So that's not normal for it to be so smelly that the entire house wants to run away because it's that malodorous. So that's indicative of imbalance as well. And then should it float? A little bit of mixed reviews on the floating part. Typically what I was trained is that when poop floats, it means you're malabsorbing your fat. And so it's floating because it's literally fatty. Sometimes in coordination with that malabsorbing fat, you can get that lighter color, that yellowy orange or pale brown color. So that's indicative of fat malabsorption as well. There are some schools of thought that are talking about, well, if you're very gassy, if there's a lot of air, which makes sense, if there's a lot of air in the stool, that can cause it to float as well. And then there's a little bit about if you're eating a lot of fiber, but I haven't seen enough about that, and I certainly know I eat a ton of fiber and I don't have that. So there you go. I haven't seen too much research on supporting about fiber and stool floating. So generally speaking, it's not normal for it to float. It should sink. And then ease, it shouldn't be something you're straining and pushing and grunting about. It should come out, it should come out easily. And also, what about when you're wiping? if we're getting very specific here, is that it shouldn't take a lot of toilet paper to clean yourself. It should come out, when it comes out nice and formed and rather easily, you know, 1 or 2 wipes and you're good. If it's sticky and it's kind of all over your bum, then that's also indicative of malabsorption, typically fat malabsorption, and it's just very sticky, and that's not normal either. So what does all this mean? It means that things are abnormal unless you fell into the quote-unquote normal category. But what's abnormal? So whether you have food sensitivities, you're not absorbing your nutrition, you have imbalance of the good guys and the bad guys. I have people come in who, you know, have had diarrhea, have had loose stools 3 to 5 times a day for years, and the only thing conventional medicine wants to do is give them Imodium to stop them up. It's like, that's not the answer. You're malabsorbing your nutrients. Things are passing through too quickly, and you're not having that nice period of time to gain from your food what's required. And then ditto on constipation, when things are going through so slowly, it's more of an autotoxicity type of thing occurring. So when you really get to the right root of why your gut is not functioning optimally, you'll see it in the stool. So it's really important to make those correlations. I mentioned sort of the diameter of a banana, but some people say, well, either little golf balls or it comes out ribbony, you know, kind of a thin ribbon. That's not normal either. So the important thing is not to just go, oh darn, my poop's not normal, but then find a clinician who can help you get to the root cause and change it so that it is normal. So the first step is knowing it's not. And one thing I hear a lot is, of course, a lot of people don't know. This is, again, not dinner time conversation, but you should know about your children and just tell them, you know, it's part of being healthy. You know, I ask you how you feel. I ask you, did you sleep well? You know, it's okay if occasionally I want to look at your poop, you know, and it is important because you'll learn things about your children's health. And I have a lot of adults come in and say, you know, various things that are not normal. It's like, yeah, my spouse has been telling me for years that's not normal. And, you know, sometimes it's hard just hearing your spouse, who's not a doctor, tell you you're not normal. But they were right. And then, of course, it's not really knowing where to go to get the answers, because I've had plenty of conventional medical doctors tell patients, well, that's normal for you. I completely disagree. Even the 2 people that have come in 25 years that literally moved their bowels once per month and was told that that was normal for them, went to daily as soon as we got to the root cause of the problem. Ditto for the diarrhea, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't care where you are on the spectrum, getting normal, it's not you. That abnormal is not you, it's abnormal. And so yes, we look very different and we act very different, but there are certain consistent things in the human body, and poop is one of them. So if your poop is not normal, let's figure out why and really get to the root of it. We have natural programs. We don't use drugs. We're not going to give you Imodium because you have diarrhea, and we're not going to give you a laxative because you have constipation. We're going to actually find out why, because that gut is so important to optimal health. If your gut is not healthy, it's basically impossible for the rest of your body to be healthy. Truly, truly is. So let me help you get to the root cause. Whether you live locally or not, we are a destination clinic. Give me a call here at Root Cause Medical Clinic. The number is 408-733-0400. You can visit us at the website rootcausemedical.com, and we'll help get that gut optimal, which will go a very long way to optimizing your health. I'll see you soon.